Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Relaxing English Listening. I'm really glad you're here today. If you've been learning English for a while, maybe you've experienced something frustrating. You know a lot of vocabulary. You understand grammar. You can even recognize many words when you hear them. But when a real conversation begins, your mind suddenly slows down. You know what you want to say. You just can't say it naturally. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. The truth is that most English learners don't struggle because they don't know enough words. They struggle because they haven't heard enough real-life English used in real situations. Today, we're going to change that. In this lesson, you'll learn English the way native speakers actually use it every day. You'll hear useful phrases, natural conversations, and realistic situations that you can imagine yourself in. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to respond more naturally during everyday conversations. And remember something important. You don't need to speak fast. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need a perfect accent. You only need clear communication and consistent practice. Every small phrase you repeat today is helping your brain build a new habit. And little by little, those habits become fluency. If you enjoy learning English this way, don't forget to subscribe to Relaxing English Listening and join us again for future lessons. Now get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's spend some time together in English. Imagine you are waking up on a Monday morning. Your room is quiet. The sunlight is slowly coming through the curtains. For a few seconds, everything feels peaceful. Then your alarm starts ringing. You reach for your phone. Turn off the alarm. Close your eyes again. Just for a moment. 5 minutes later, the alarm rings again. This time you sit up. You look at the clock. And immediately you realize something. You're later than you thought. Not terribly late. Not a disaster. But late enough that you start moving faster. You walk into the kitchen. Your roommate is already there, making breakfast. They look at you and smile. Morning. You smile back. But honestly, you're still not fully awake. This brings us to our first phrase. I'm still waking up. Listen carefully. I'm still waking up. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers say it all the time. It doesn't mean you're asleep. It means your body is awake. But your brain is still catching up. Let's practice together. Repeat after me slowly. I'm still waking up. Good! Again. I'm still waking up. Now say it more naturally. I'm still waking up. Excellent. Now imagine your roommate asks, "How are you this morning?" Instead of saying, "I am tired," you can sound much more natural. You can say, "I'm still waking up." Let's try that. Roommate, how are you this morning? You. I'm still waking up. Perfect. Notice how natural that sounds. Most learners sound too formal here. Native speakers often choose shorter, softer responses. And that's one reason they sound so comfortable. You open the refrigerator. You look inside. Milk. Fruit. Some leftovers. But something important is missing. Coffee. You stare into the refrigerator for a second. Then close the door. This is not good. A tiny problem. But a very real problem. Especially on a Monday morning. And that brings us to another phrase you'll hear every day. I could use some coffee. Listen carefully. I could use some coffee. Repeat after me slowly. I could use some coffee. Again. I could use some coffee. Now say it naturally. I could use some coffee. Excellent. Native speakers use this pattern constantly. I could use some sleep. I could use a break. I could use some fresh air. I could use a vacation. Notice how flexible this phrase is. Now imagine your roommate laughs. You look exhausted. You smile. Yeah. I could use some coffee. That sounds much more natural than simply saying, I want coffee. The phrase carries emotion. It sounds human. It sounds real. And that's exactly the kind of English we're learning today. A few minutes later, you're walking toward your favorite coffee shop. The streets are beginning to fill with people. Some are walking quickly. Some are waiting for buses. Some are staring at their phones. Some are carrying giant coffee cups that look bigger than they need to be. The city is waking up. As you enter the coffee shop, the smell of fresh coffee immediately fills the air. A barista greets you. Hey, how's it going? This is one of the most common greetings in English. How's it going? Not. How are you today? Not. How do you feel this morning? Just. How's it going? Let's practice. Repeat after me. How's it going? Again. How's it going? Excellent. Now imagine the conversation. Barista. Hey. How's it going? You. Pretty good. Still waking up. Let's say it together. Pretty good. Still waking up. Very natural. Very common. Very useful. The barista laughs. I hear that. You order your coffee. While waiting, you hear two people talking nearby. One person rushes through the door. Sorry I'm late. The other person smiles and says, No worries. This next phrase is something you'll hear every single day. No worries. Listen carefully. No worries. Repeat after me. No worries. Again. No worries. Now say it casually. No worries. Excellent. This phrase means, it's okay. Don't stress about it. Everything's fine. Imagine these situations. A friend forgets to text you. No worries. Someone arrives 5 minutes late. No worries. A coworker apologizes for a small mistake. No worries. Short. Friendly. Natural. Native speakers love phrases like this because they reduce tension. They make conversations feel easier. And easy conversations create stronger connections. While waiting for your drink, your phone vibrates. You check the screen. A message from your coworker appears. Hey, are you coming to the meeting? You glance at the clock. And suddenly you remember. The meeting starts sooner than you thought. A tiny moment of tension appears. Not enough to panic, but enough to speed up your morning. This is exactly the kind of small pressure native speakers experience every day. And it leads us to another extremely useful phrase. I'm on my way. Listen carefully. I'm on my way. Repeat after me slowly. I'm on my way. Again. I'm on my way. Now say it naturally. I'm on my way. Excellent. This phrase means you are already moving toward the destination. You're not getting ready. You're not thinking about leaving. You're already going. Coworker. Where are you? You. I'm on my way. Friend. Are you coming? You. I'm on my way. Simple. Fast. Natural. Now let's upgrade it slightly. Basic. I'm coming. Natural. I'm on my way. Advanced natural. I'm on my way now. Let's practice. I'm on my way now. Again. I'm on my way now. Excellent. Notice the rhythm. Native speakers often shorten their language. They choose efficiency. That's why learning phrases is often more valuable than learning individual words. Let's put everything together into a realistic morning conversation. Listen carefully. Roommate. Morning. You. Morning. Roommate. How are you? You. I'm still waking up. Roommate. Yeah. You look tired. You. I could use some coffee. Later. Barista. How's it going? You. Pretty good. Still waking up. Later. Coworker. Where are you? You. I'm on my way. Can you feel something happening? You aren't learning random English. You're building a sequence. A chain of real-life communication. And that's exactly how fluency develops. Not through memorizing hundreds of isolated words, but through understanding how language connects from one situation to the next. Now, I'd like you to think about your own morning. What happened today? Did you wake up early? Were you tired? Did you have coffee? Did you rush somewhere? Take a moment. Now it's your turn. Say one simple sentence in your mind. Maybe. I'm still waking up. Maybe. I could use some coffee. Maybe. I'm on my way. Choose one. Say it quietly. Good. That moment matters more than you think. Because every small sentence you create is training your brain to think in English instead of translating. And that's where real progress begins. Most learners don't notice the moment when English starts feeling natural. It happens gradually. One phrase. One conversation. One situation at a time. And speaking of situations, something unexpected is about to happen. As you leave the coffee shop and continue toward work, your phone lights up again. This time, it's not a coworker. It's someone you haven't heard from in a very long time. Someone from another chapter of your life. And the conversation you're about to have is filled with some of the most common English phrases native speakers use every day. Let's see what happens next. You leave the coffee shop feeling a little more awake. The coffee is finally doing its job. The streets are busier now. People are moving with purpose. Cars fill the roads. Buses stop and go. The city has fully come to life. You take another sip of coffee while walking toward work. Your morning feels much better than it did 30 minutes ago. Then your phone vibrates again. You glance down. A new message appears. At first, you don't recognize the name. Then, you look closer. And suddenly, a memory comes rushing back. An old friend. Someone you used to talk to almost every day. Someone you haven't spoken to in years? For a moment, you simply stare at the screen. The message is short. Hey. Long time no see. Immediately, you smile. Because some messages have a way of bringing back entire chapters of your life. And this situation gives us some incredibly useful English that native speakers use all the time. Let's start with that phrase. Long time no see. Listen carefully. Long time no see. This next phrase is extremely common. Native speakers use it constantly when reconnecting with someone after a long period of time. Repeat after me. Slowly. Long time no see. Good. Again. Long time no see. Now say it naturally. Long time no see. Excellent. Notice something interesting. This phrase isn't perfect grammar, but native speakers use it anyway. That's one reason real English sometimes sounds different from textbook English. Real English follows habits, patterns, human behavior, and long time no see is one of those patterns. Imagine meeting a former coworker at a grocery store. You haven't seen them in 3 years. You smile and say, "Wow. Long time no see." Simple, friendly, natural. Now, let's make it even more realistic. Imagine your old friend sends another message. "How have you been?" This is another phrase you'll hear everywhere. How have you been? Listen carefully. How have you been? Repeat after me slowly. How have you been? Again. How have you been? Now say it naturally. How have you been? Excellent. This question is different from "How are you? How have you been?" Asks about a longer period of time. It means, what's been happening in your life? What have you been doing? How are things going these days? Let's practice a short exchange. Friend. Long time no see. You. I know. How have you been? Let's try it again. Friend. Long time no see. You. I know. How have you been? Very natural. Very common. Very useful. As you continue walking, you decide to reply. The conversation starts flowing almost immediately. Friend. Honestly, I've been pretty busy lately. This introduces another useful phrase. Pretty busy lately. Listen carefully. I've been pretty busy lately. Repeat after me slowly. I've been pretty busy lately. Again. I've been pretty busy lately. Now say it naturally. I've been pretty busy lately. Excellent. Notice the word lately. Native speakers use it all the time. Lately simply means recently. Let's try a few examples. I've been working a lot lately. I've been tired lately. I've been traveling lately. I've been studying English lately. Can you hear the pattern? Once you learn the pattern, you can create dozens of natural sentences. That's one of the secrets of fluency. You're not memorizing entire conversations. You're learning reusable patterns. And those patterns become automatic over time. A few messages later, your friend tells you something surprising. Maybe they moved to another city. Maybe they changed careers. Maybe they started a business. Maybe they got married. Whatever it is, your reaction is immediate. No way. Listen carefully. No way. This is something you'll hear every day. Repeat after me. No way. Again. No way. Now say it with surprise. No way. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Not because something is impossible, but because something is surprising. Friend. I moved to New York last year. You. No way. Friend. Yeah. You. Seriously. Let's practice another useful reaction. Seriously. Listen carefully. Seriously. Repeat after me. Seriously. Again. Seriously. Now say it naturally. Seriously. Excellent. Notice how short native reactions often are. Most learners try to create long responses. Native speakers usually don't. Instead of saying, "That information surprises me greatly," they simply say, "No way," or "Seriously." Short, natural, human. The conversation continues. Your friend begins telling you about a huge life change. You slow your walking pace slightly. The story is getting interesting. There is something powerful about reconnecting with someone from your past. You begin hearing details about their life, the challenges, the successes, the unexpected twists. Then they tell you something you never expected, and your reaction becomes slightly stronger. I can't believe it. Listen carefully. I can't believe it. Repeat after me slowly. I can't believe it. Again. I can't believe it. Now say it with emotion. I can't believe it. Excellent. This phrase shows stronger surprise. Imagine your friend says, I started my own company. You reply, I can't believe it. Friend, I know. It's crazy. You? That's amazing. Can you hear how natural that conversation sounds? Simple language, strong emotion, real communication. And that's exactly what native speakers do. Now, let's make the conversation a little deeper. The excitement settles. The conversation becomes more personal. Your friend starts talking about some difficult moments they experienced. Maybe moving to a new city wasn't easy. Maybe changing careers was stressful. Maybe starting over felt scary. A very natural response here is, that must have been difficult. Listen carefully. That must have been difficult. Repeat after me slowly. That must have been difficult. Again. That must have been difficult. Now say it naturally. That must have been difficult. Excellent. This phrase shows empathy. And empathy is one of the most important skills in any language. People don't just want to be heard. They want to feel understood. Friend. It was really stressful at first. You. That must have been difficult. Simple. Supportive. Natural. Now, let's upgrade it. Basic. That sounds hard. Natural. That must have been difficult. More expressive. That must have been really difficult. Let's practice. That must have been really difficult. Again. That must have been really difficult. Excellent. As the conversation continues, you realize something. You aren't translating every sentence anymore. You're simply listening, understanding, responding. Maybe not perfectly, but naturally. This is one of those breakthrough moments many learners don't notice. It's subtle, but important. You stop focusing on individual words. You start focusing on meaning. And that's exactly how language becomes real. Take a moment and think about that. You don't learn to swim by memorizing descriptions of water. You learn by getting into the water. Language works the same way. You learn by using it, listening to it, responding to it, little by little. Your friend sends another message. What about you? This next phrase is everywhere. What about you? Listen carefully. What about you? Repeat after me. What about you? Again. What about you? Now say it naturally. What about you? Excellent. This phrase keeps conversations balanced. It shows interest. It keeps the other person involved. Friend. I've been traveling a lot. You. That's great. Friend. What about you? You. Mostly work lately. Simple. Natural. Very common. Now let's practice a longer conversation. Listen carefully. Friend? Long time no see. You. I know. How have you been? Friend. Pretty busy lately. You. Same here. Friend. I moved to Chicago last year. You. No way. Friend. Yeah. You. Seriously. Friend. I started a new company too. You. I can't believe it. Friend. It was a lot of work. You. That must have been difficult. Friend. It definitely was. You. What about you? Can you hear how smooth that sounds? That's not textbook English. That's conversation. Real conversation. The kind people have every day. Now it's your turn. Think about someone you haven't talked to in a long time. A friend. A cousin. A former coworker. Imagine they sent you a message right now. What would you say? Maybe. Long time no see. Maybe. How have you been? Maybe. I've been pretty busy lately. Choose one. Say it quietly. Good. That small moment matters. Every sentence you create is helping your brain become more comfortable with English. And comfort eventually becomes confidence. As your conversation comes to an end, your friend mentions something else. A new job. A busy office. A challenging team. A major project they're working on. The topic begins shifting naturally toward work. And the English people use at work is a little different. A little faster. A little more practical. Filled with short phrases that native speakers use every single day. And some of those phrases are probably much simpler than you think. Let's see what happens when the workday begins. The conversation with your old friend stays in your mind long after the messages stop. It's funny how a simple message can bring back so many memories. For a few minutes, you're no longer thinking about work. You're thinking about old classrooms, old apartments, old conversations. People change. Lives change. Years pass. And sometimes it all happens faster than we expect. You put your phone back into your pocket and continue walking. The office building is now only a few blocks away. People are entering through the front doors. Some are carrying coffee. Some are talking on the phone. Some already look busy before the day has even started. The energy feels different now. Faster. More focused. More practical. And that brings us into another part of everyday English that many learners want to master. Workplace English. The good news is that real workplace English is often much simpler than people imagine. Most meetings are not filled with complicated business vocabulary. Most conversations are surprisingly short. And native speakers often rely on the same phrases again and again. As you walk into the office, you hear keyboards clicking, phones ringing, people greeting each other. A coworker looks up from their desk. Morning. You smile. Morning. A few seconds later, a message appears on your computer. Your manager needs something. Not urgently, but soon. The message says, "Could you review this report before lunch?" This next phrase is extremely common. I'm on it. Listen carefully. I'm on it. Repeat after me slowly. I'm on it. Again. I'm on it. Now say it naturally. I'm on it. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. It means, I'm already working on it. I'll handle it. Consider it done. Manager. Could you review the report? You. I'm on it. Coworker. Can you send me those files? You. I'm on it. Simple. Confident. Professional. Most learners sound too formal here. Instead of saying, I will begin working on this task immediately, native speakers simply say, I'm on it. Shorter. Faster. More natural. And because it's so common, you'll hear it everywhere. As you begin reviewing the report, another coworker approaches your desk. Hey. Do we have the updated schedule yet? You aren't sure. You think you saw it yesterday. Maybe. Maybe not. This is where another very useful phrase appears. Let me check. Listen carefully. Let me check. Repeat after me slowly. Let me check. Again. Let me check. Now say it naturally. Let me check. Excellent. This phrase gives you time. It sounds helpful. It sounds cooperative. And native speakers use it constantly. Coworker, do we have the schedule? You. Let me check. Friend. Did they reply yet? You. Let me check. Customer. Do you have this in another size? You. Let me check. Notice how useful this phrase is. It works almost everywhere. And that's exactly the kind of English we're focusing on. English you can actually use. Not English that stays trapped inside a textbook. A few minutes later, you open your inbox. There are more emails than expected. One email becomes 2. 2 become 5. 5 become 10. You start clicking through them. Reading. Replying. Organizing. The workload grows. Not dramatically. But enough that you start feeling busy. Very busy. This brings us to another phrase native speakers use all the time. I've got a lot on my plate. Listen carefully. I've got a lot on my plate. Repeat after me slowly. I've got a lot on my plate. Again. I've got a lot on my plate. Now say it naturally. I've got a lot on my plate. Excellent. This phrase doesn't actually refer to food. It means, I have a lot to do. I'm very busy. Imagine, a coworker asks, can you help with another project? You might say, I'd love to help, but I've got a lot on my plate today. Let's practice. I've got a lot on my plate today. Again. I've got a lot on my plate today. Very good. This is something you'll hear every day. And once you start noticing it, you'll hear it everywhere. The morning continues. The office becomes louder. More people arrive. More conversations begin. Soon it's time for the weekly team meeting. Everyone gathers around a conference table. Some people bring coffee. Some bring notebooks. Some look fully prepared. Others look like they're still waking up. The meeting begins. People share updates. One person talks about sales numbers. Another talks about customer feedback. Another explains a problem the team has been facing. As the discussion continues, one coworker makes a useful suggestion. Immediately, someone responds, good point. This next phrase is incredibly common. Good point. Listen carefully. Good point. Repeat after me slowly. Good point. Again. Good point. Now, say it naturally. Good point. Excellent. This phrase means, that's a smart observation. I agree with what you said. You noticed something important. Coworker. We should finish early in case something goes wrong. You. Good point. Manager. We may need extra time. You. Good point. Short. Natural. Professional. Native speakers love these short responses because they keep conversations moving. And fluent conversation is often about flow, not complexity. The discussion continues. Someone explains a complicated issue. At first, you're slightly confused. Then, suddenly everything becomes clear. And a phrase naturally appears. That makes sense. Listen carefully. That makes sense. Repeat after me slowly. That makes sense? Again. That makes sense. Now say it naturally. That makes sense. Excellent. This phrase is extremely useful. It shows understanding. It tells the other person, I understand now. Coworker. The client requested changes, so the deadline moved. You. That makes sense. Manager. We need more testing before launch. You? That makes sense. Let's practice. That makes sense. Again. That makes sense. Very good. Notice how often native speakers rely on simple reactions. Good point. That makes sense. Exactly. Right. Sounds good. These phrases appear constantly, and learning them creates a huge improvement in natural communication. The meeting ends. People return to their desks. The office becomes quieter again. For a little while. Then, something unexpected happens. Your manager receives an email from an important client. A project needs changes. Today. Not next week. Not tomorrow. Today. The atmosphere shifts. Not dramatically, but noticeably. People begin typing faster. Messages appear more frequently. The pace increases. This is where another useful phrase appears. I'll take care of it. Listen carefully. I'll take care of it. Repeat after me slowly. I'll take care of it. Again. I'll take care of it. Now say it confidently. I'll take care of it. Excellent. This phrase communicates responsibility, confidence, reliability. Manager. Who can update the presentation? You? I'll take care of it. Coworker. Can someone call the client? You? I'll take care of it. Simple, professional, natural, and extremely common. Now let's put several phrases together into one realistic workplace conversation. Listen carefully. Manager. Can you review this report? You. I'm on it. Coworker. Do we have the final schedule? You. Let me check. Manager. The client wants additional changes. You. That makes sense. Coworker. We should probably finish this today. You. Good point. Manager. Who can update everything? You. I'll take care of it. Can you hear how natural that sounds? Most of the conversation is built from short phrases. Not advanced vocabulary. Not complicated grammar. Just useful communication. And that's one of the biggest secrets of spoken English. The people who sound fluent aren't always using the hardest words. They're using the most useful words. Comfortably. Naturally. Repeatedly. Take a moment and think about your own work. E-studies. Or daily responsibilities. Imagine someone asks you for help. What would you say? Maybe. I'm on it. Maybe. Let me check. Maybe. I'll take care of it. Choose one. Say it quietly. Good. Every small sentence you repeat is training your brain to think in English. Little by little. Without pressure. Without perfection. Just progress. And something interesting is about to happen. The busy morning is finally ending. The pressure begins to fade. People start talking about lunch. Someone mentions a new restaurant downtown. Someone else says the food is amazing. A small group decides to go together. The conversation becomes less professional, more relaxed, more social. And the English people use outside the meeting room is often very different from the English they use inside it. Let's see what happens when the workday pauses and real conversation begins. The meeting is finally over. People close their laptops. Coffee cups are picked up. Chairs slide back from the conference table. The tension that filled the room only a few minutes ago begins to disappear. You can almost feel the energy changing. Work mode slowly fades. Conversation mode begins. One coworker stretches and says, I need food. Another laughs. Same. A third person closes their laptop and says, "So, who's coming to lunch?" Almost immediately, several people start discussing restaurants. Suggestions fly around the room. A sandwich place. A taco truck. A small cafe across the street. A new restaurant downtown. The conversation becomes quicker, more relaxed, more spontaneous. And this is where some of the most useful everyday English appears. Not in meetings, not in presentations, but in simple social conversations, the kinds of conversations people have every day. As everyone walks toward the elevator, one coworker says, "I heard the new Italian place is amazing." Another responds, "Really?" A third person smiles and says, "That sounds good." This next phrase is something native speakers use constantly. That sounds good. Listen carefully. That sounds good. Repeat after me slowly. That sounds good. Again. That sounds good. Now. Say it naturally. That sounds good. Excellent. Notice how flexible this phrase is. It works in dozens of situations. Friend. Want to grab coffee later? You? That sounds good. Coworker. Let's meet at 2. You. That sounds good. Family member. How about pizza tonight? You. That sounds good. Simple. Friendly. Natural. Native speakers love phrases that are flexible. And this is one of the most flexible phrases in spoken English. As the group reaches the restaurant, the lunch rush is in full swing. The place is busy. Conversations fill the room. Dishes clink together. Servers move quickly between tables. The smell of fresh food fills the air. Everyone sits down. Menus are passed around. People begin looking at the options. One coworker immediately points to something on the menu. "I'm getting the chicken pasta." Another says, "Oh, that looks good." You glance at the menu. Then, at the picture. Then, back at the menu. Honestly, it does look good. This brings us to another extremely useful phrase. I'll have the same. Listen carefully. I'll have the same. Repeat after me slowly. I'll have the same. Again. I'll have the same. Now say it naturally. I'll have the same. Excellent. This phrase is incredibly common in restaurants. Instead of repeating the entire order, you simply say, "I'll have the same." Server. What would you like? You. I'll have the same. Simple. Efficient. Natural. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I'll have the same. Again. I'll have the same. Very good. Notice how much easier conversation becomes when you know these everyday shortcuts. Native speakers use shortcuts constantly. That's one reason real English often sounds different from textbook English. A few minutes later, the food arrives. Everyone starts eating. For a moment, conversation slows down. People are hungry. Then someone starts telling a story. A story about a recent trip. At first, it sounds normal. Then it starts becoming more unusual. Apparently, they missed their train, ended up in the wrong city, lost their luggage, and somehow still managed to enjoy the trip. Everyone begins laughing. One coworker shakes their head. No way. You've already learned this phrase. And here it appears again. That's important. Because repetition is exactly how native speakers learn language too. The same useful phrases appear over and over. The more often you hear them, the more natural they become. The story continues. The details become more ridiculous. Eventually, someone blurts out, "Seriously?" This next phrase is extremely common. Seriously. Listen carefully. Seriously. Repeat after me. Seriously. Again. Seriously. Now say it with surprise. Seriously. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. It communicates surprise instantly. Friend. I accidentally booked the wrong flight. You. Seriously. Coworker. I forgot my own birthday dinner. You. Seriously. Short. Natural. Human. Notice how real conversations often move quickly. Native speakers rarely stop to create perfect sentences. Instead, they react naturally. And learning those reactions can dramatically improve your fluency. The story finally ends. Everyone laughs. The energy around the table feels lighter, more relaxed, more connected. Then, another coworker points at someone's meal. That actually looks amazing. A natural response appears. Good choice. Listen carefully. Good choice. Repeat after me slowly. Good choice. Again. Good choice. Now, say it naturally. Good choice. Excellent. This phrase is very common. People use it when someone makes a decision they approve of. Friend. I ordered the steak. You. Good choice. Coworker. I'm taking a week off next month. You. Good choice. Friend. I started learning Spanish. You. Good choice. Simple. Positive. Useful. Now let's upgrade it slightly. Basic. Good choice. More natural. That's a good choice. Even more conversational. Honestly. That's a good choice. Let's practice. Honestly. That's a good choice. Again. Honestly. That's a good choice. Excellent. Notice the word honestly. Native speakers use filler words like this constantly. Honestly. Actually. Pretty much. Kind of. Basically. They make speech feel more natural, more relaxed, more human. The conversation continues. People begin joking with each other. Not serious jokes, just playful comments. The kind of humor friends and coworkers often share. One coworker looks at another person's dessert. Wow. You're eating that whole thing. The table laughs. The coworker grins. Of course. Someone replies. Good luck. More laughter. Then the person smiles and says, I'm just kidding. Listen carefully. I'm just kidding. Repeat after me slowly. I'm just kidding. Again. I'm just kidding. Now say it naturally. I'm just kidding. Excellent. This phrase is everywhere in conversational English. It tells people you're joking. Friend. You owe me $1,000. Pause. I'm just kidding. Coworker. You should buy lunch for everyone. Pause. I'm just kidding. Native speakers use this phrase constantly because humor is an important part of conversation. And humor often requires clarification. Especially in English. Let's practice. I'm just kidding. Again. I'm just kidding. Very good. As lunch continues, conversations begin overlapping. One person is discussing travel. Another is talking about sports. Someone else is describing their weekend plans. The social energy rises and falls naturally. This is how real conversations work. They're not perfectly organized. Topics change. People interrupt slightly. Someone remembers another story. A new topic appears. Everything flows naturally. One coworker suddenly says, "By the way, has anyone seen the new movie everyone's talking about?" Half the table says yes. Half the table says no. Immediately, a lively discussion begins. Opinions start flying around. One person loved it. Another hated it. Someone thought it was too long. Someone thought it wasn't long enough. This creates another useful phrase. I liked it. But. Listen carefully. I liked it. But. Repeat after me. I liked it. But. Again. I liked it. But. Excellent. Native speakers often soften opinions. Instead of speaking in absolutes, they create balance. I liked it. But it was too long. I enjoyed it. But the ending felt rushed. That balance makes conversations smoother. And smoother conversations sound more natural. As lunch slowly comes to an end, the atmosphere becomes calmer again. Plates are empty. Drinks are nearly finished. People begin checking their phones. Looking at the time. Thinking about the afternoon. One coworker suddenly says, "We should do something this weekend." Immediately, the energy shifts. Weekend plans. Travel ideas. Outdoor activities. Concerts. Road trips. Relaxing at home. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has an idea. And without realizing it, the conversation is beginning to move toward another part of everyday English. The language people use when making plans. Changing plans. Accepting invitations. Declining invitations. Making decisions. Some of the most practical English you'll ever learn. As the group stands up from the table and starts walking back toward the office, someone asks a simple question. So, what's everyone doing this weekend? And suddenly, the conversation takes a completely different direction. The group leaves the restaurant feeling relaxed and satisfied. The afternoon sun is warm. The streets are busier than they were earlier. People are walking quickly through the city. Some are carrying shopping bags. Some are heading back to work. Others seem to have nowhere urgent to be. For a few moments, everyone walks together toward the office. The conversation is casual, easy, comfortable. Then someone asks a simple question. So, what are you doing this weekend? Almost immediately, the group becomes more animated. Weekend conversations are different. They're filled with possibilities, plans, ideas, maybes. And that's exactly why they're so useful for English learners. Because native speakers talk about future plans all the time. One coworker immediately says, "I'm driving to the coast." Another says, "I'm visiting my parents." Someone else laughs. "I'm sleeping all weekend." The group laughs. Then, someone turns toward you. "What about you?" You think for a second. The truth is, you haven't decided yet. And that brings us to our first phrase. I'm not sure yet. Listen carefully. I'm not sure yet. Repeat after me slowly. I'm not sure yet. Again. I'm not sure yet. Now say it naturally. I'm not sure yet. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers use it constantly because real life is often uncertain. Many English learners think they always need a clear answer. But native speakers are perfectly comfortable saying, "I'm not sure yet." Friend. Are you coming? You. I'm not sure yet. Coworker. What are your plans? You. I'm not sure yet. Simple. Honest. Natural. Let's practice one more time. I'm not sure yet. Excellent. Notice how relaxed this response feels. There's no pressure, no commitment, just uncertainty. And uncertainty is a very natural part of conversation. The group continues walking. One coworker pulls out their phone. I found a great hiking trail. Another person immediately becomes interested. Really? The coworker shows everyone a few photos. Beautiful mountains. Trees. A small lake. The pictures look amazing. Someone smiles and says, "That sounds fun." This next phrase is something native speakers use every day. That sounds fun. Listen carefully. That sounds fun. Repeat after me, slowly. That sounds fun. Again. That sounds fun. Now say it naturally. That sounds fun. Excellent. Notice how similar it is to another phrase you've already learned. That sounds good. Native speakers use both all the time. Friend. We're going hiking. You. That sounds fun. Coworker. We rented a cabin. You. That sounds fun. Neighbor. We're having a barbecue. You. That sounds fun. Very useful. Very flexible. And very natural. As the group keeps talking, more ideas begin appearing. A beach trip. A concert. A road trip. A movie night. Everyone has different opinions. Different schedules. Different priorities. And that's exactly how real conversations work. Not everyone agrees. Not everyone wants the same thing. One coworker says, "I'm definitely going hiking." Another person immediately responds, "It depends." Listen carefully. It depends. Repeat after me slowly. It depends. Again. It depends. Now, say it naturally. It depends. Excellent. This phrase is incredibly useful. It allows you to avoid a direct yes or no answer. Friend. Are you coming? You. It depends. Friend. On what? You. The weather. Simple. Natural. Flexible. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Let's practice. It depends. Again. It depends. Now let's upgrade it. It depends on the weather. Repeat after me. It depends on the weather. Excellent. Can you hear how natural that sounds? Native speakers often avoid absolute answers. Instead, they say, maybe. We'll see. It depends. I'm not sure yet. Those phrases make conversations feel realistic. Because real life is rarely certain. The group arrives back at the office. Everyone heads to their desks. But the weekend conversation continues through messages. A group chat starts filling up. Photos. Ideas. Questions. Suggestions. The conversation keeps growing. One coworker sends a picture of a beach. Another sends a picture of a hiking trail. A third person shares information about a music festival. The chat becomes more active. More energetic. One message appears. Who's interested? Almost immediately, someone replies. I'm in. Listen carefully. I'm in. Repeat after me slowly. I'm in. Again. I'm in. Now say it naturally. I'm in. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. It means, count me in. I'm joining. I want to participate. Friend. We're playing soccer Saturday morning. You. I'm in. Coworker. We're getting dinner Friday night. You. I'm in. Simple. positive, confident. Native speakers love short phrases like this because they communicate enthusiasm quickly. Let's practice. I'm in. Again. I'm in. Very good. A few minutes later, another message appears. What if it rains? The conversation suddenly changes direction. People start debating backup plans. One person suggests bowling. Another suggests a movie. Another suggests staying home. Uncertainty phrases. Because life changes. Weather changes. Plans change. Schedules change. And language reflects reality. Let's put several phrases together into one natural conversation. Listen carefully. Friend. What are your plans this weekend? You. I'm not sure yet. Friend. We're going hiking. You. That sounds fun. Friend. So you're coming. You. It depends. Friend. On what? You. The weather. Friend. If it's sunny, we're going. You. I'm in. Friend. What if it rains? You. We'll see. Can you hear how natural that sounds? Every phrase is short. Every phrase is useful. Every phrase appears in real conversations every day. And that's exactly why learning them matters. As the afternoon continues, work becomes quieter. The biggest tasks are finished. The morning stress is gone. For a little while, things feel calm. You glance out the window. The sky looks beautiful. Bright blue. No clouds. Maybe the hiking trip will happen after all. Then your phone vibrates again. Another message appears. This time from a friend you haven't seen recently. The message says, "You know what? I've finally booked that trip I've been talking about for years." You smile. Because you've heard about this trip many times. For months. Maybe years. And that introduces another useful phrase. I've been meaning to. Listen carefully. I've been meaning to. Repeat after me slowly. I've been meaning to. Again. I've been meaning to. Now say it naturally. I've been meaning to. Excellent. This phrase means, I've wanted to do something for a long time. I just haven't done it yet. Let's practice. I've been meaning to exercise more. I've been meaning to call my friend. I've been meaning to clean my apartment. I've been meaning to travel more. Very natural. Very common. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. And once you learn it, you'll start hearing it everywhere. Now it's your turn. Think about your own life. What have you been meaning to do? Maybe learn English more consistently. Maybe visit someone. Maybe start a new hobby. Maybe travel somewhere. Take a moment. Create one sentence in your mind. Good! That small moment matters. Because every sentence you create is training your brain to think in English. Not memorize English. Not translate English. Think in English. And that's where real progress begins. As the workday slowly comes to an end, the group chat becomes active again. Someone shares a photo of an airplane ticket. Another person shares a hotel recommendation. Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about the weekend. It's about travel. Airports. Flights. Hotels. New cities. New experiences. And the English people use while traveling is some of the most practical English you'll ever learn. Because sooner or later, almost everyone finds themselves in an unfamiliar place needing to communicate. And that's exactly where we're heading next. The rest of the afternoon passes more quickly than expected. Emails are answered. Tasks are completed. The office slowly becomes quieter. People begin talking less about work and more about what comes next. Dinner, family, friends, weekend plans, travel. That last topic keeps appearing. Travel. Maybe it's the photo of the airplane ticket someone shared earlier. Maybe it's the beach pictures. Maybe it's simply the feeling that everyone needs a break. Whatever the reason, travel is suddenly everywhere in the conversation. As the workday ends, you gather your things and head toward the elevator. A coworker steps inside just before the doors close. They're looking at their phone and smiling. Guess what they say? "I finally booked my flight." You laugh. Seriously? Yeah. Where are you going? Barcelona. Immediately, several people in the elevator become interested. Questions start flying. When are you leaving? How long are you staying? Have you been there before? The excitement is contagious. By the time you leave the building, you're already imagining airports, suitcases, unfamiliar streets, and new adventures. And whether you're traveling across the country or across the world, there are certain English phrases you'll hear again and again. The good news is that most travel English is simple. Very simple. In fact, some of the most useful travel phrases contain only a few words. Imagine you have arrived at the airport. It's early. The sky is still dark. People are dragging suitcases across the floor. Announcements echo through the terminal. Coffee shops are busy. Security lines are growing longer. The entire place feels alive. You look at the departure board. Rows and rows of destinations. Some familiar. Some completely new. For a moment, you aren't sure where your gate is. This creates one of the most common travel situations in the world. You need help. And that brings us to our first phrase. Excuse me. Listen carefully. Excuse me. Repeat after me slowly. Excuse me. Again. Excuse me. Now say it naturally. Excuse me. Excellent. This phrase is one of the most important phrases in English. Native speakers use it constantly. You use it to get someone's attention. You use it to ask for help. You use it when passing through a crowd. You use it when interrupting politely. Imagine you're standing near an airport employee. You say, "Excuse me." The employee turns toward you. Now the conversation can begin. Simple, polite, essential. Let's practice. Excuse me. Again. Excuse me. Very good. Notice how many situations this phrase can solve. Sometimes communication starts with only 2 words. You approach the airport employee. Now you need help finding your gate. This leads us to another useful phrase. Could you help me? Listen carefully. Could you help me? Repeat after me slowly. Could you help me? Again. Could you help me? Now say it naturally. Could you help me? Excellent. This next phrase is extremely common. And not only for travel, you can use it almost anywhere. At an airport. At a hotel. In a store. At a train station. At work. Anywhere. Employee. Hello. You. Could you help me? Employee. Of course. Simple. Natural. Very useful. Let's build a slightly longer sentence. Repeat after me. Could you help me find my gate? Again. Could you help me find my gate? Excellent. Can you hear how practical that sounds? This isn't English you'll use someday. This is English you can use immediately. The employee points you in the right direction. A few minutes later, you're sitting near your gate. People around you are reading books, looking at phones, drinking coffee, watching airplanes through large windows. The atmosphere feels calm. Then boarding begins. Passengers start lining up. Soon you're on the plane. Several hours later, you arrive in a completely new city. The airport is unfamiliar. The signs look different. The streets outside feel exciting, a little overwhelming, and very new. You step into a taxi. The driver loads your suitcase. You settle into the back seat. The city begins moving past the windows. Tall buildings. Busy intersections. People walking quickly. The driver smiles. First time here. You nod. Yeah. The driver begins talking about local attractions. Restaurants. Museums. Parks. Interesting neighborhoods. You become curious about the journey. And this introduces another useful phrase. How long does it take? Listen carefully. How long does it take? Repeat after me slowly. How long does it take? Again. How long does it take? Now say it naturally. How long does it take? Excellent. Native speakers use this pattern constantly. How long does it take to get there? How long does it take to walk there? How long does it take to learn English? How long does it take to cook this? The pattern works everywhere. Let's practice. How long does it take to get there? Again. How long does it take to get there? Excellent. The driver answers. About 20 minutes. You smile. Perfect. And that leads us to another phrase native speakers use all the time. Perfect. Listen carefully. Perfect. Repeat after me. Perfect. Again. Perfect. Now say it naturally. Perfect. Excellent. Interestingly, native speakers often use perfect even when something isn't literally perfect. It often means, great. That works. Sounds good. Exactly what I needed. Driver. It'll take 20 minutes. You? Perfect. Hotel receptionist. Your room is ready. You. Perfect. Friend. We can meet at 6. You. Perfect. Short. Positive. Very common. Eventually, you arrive at your hotel. The lobby is busy. Travelers are checking in. Suitcases are stacked near the entrance. A receptionist welcomes you. Everything seems straightforward. Then the receptionist asks a question. Maybe they speak quickly. Maybe there's background noise. Maybe you simply didn't catch it. This happens to everyone. Even native speakers. And that's why another useful phrase exists. Could you say that again? Listen carefully. Could you say that again? Repeat after me slowly. Could you say that again? Again. Could you say that again? Now say it naturally. Could you say that again? Excellent. Many learners are afraid to ask for repetition. But native speakers do it all the time. Communication is more important than pretending to understand. Receptionist. Breakfast is served from 6 to 10. You? Sorry. Could you say that again? Simple. Polite. Effective. Now imagine the next morning. You leave the hotel and start exploring. The city is beautiful. Street musicians perform near cafes. People sit outside drinking coffee. Small shops line the sidewalks. Everything feels exciting. You walk. And walk. And walk. Then, something interesting happens. You look around. The streets don't seem familiar anymore. You stop. Turn around. Look left. Look right. Nothing looks recognizable. You laugh quietly. Because there is a good chance you are lost. And that creates another incredibly useful phrase. I think I'm lost. Listen carefully. I think I'm lost. Repeat after me. Slowly. I think I'm lost. Again. I think I'm lost. Now say it naturally. I think I'm lost. Excellent. Notice how soft this phrase sounds. You're not dramatically declaring, I'm lost. Instead, you're saying, I think I'm lost. This sounds more conversational, more natural, more human. Imagine approaching a local resident. Excuse me, I think I'm lost. Immediately, they understand. And most people will be happy to help. Let's practice a short conversation. You? Excuse me. Local resident. Yes. You. I think I'm lost. Local resident. Where are you trying to go? You. The city museum. Local resident. Oh. You're actually very close. You. Really? Local resident. Just go 2 blocks and turn right. You. Perfect. Thank you. Can you hear how useful those phrases are? They're practical. Real. Easy to remember. Exactly the kind of English travelers use every day. Take a moment and imagine your own trip. Maybe it's somewhere you've always wanted to visit. New York. London. Tokyo. Rome. Sydney. Anywhere. Imagine arriving there. What would you say first? Maybe. Excuse me. Maybe. Could you help me? Maybe. How long does it take? Maybe. I think I'm lost. Choose one. Say it quietly. Good. Every phrase you repeat today becomes easier to access tomorrow. And every phrase you use tomorrow becomes part of your natural English. That's how fluency grows. Not all at once, but little by little. One useful conversation at a time. As the day continues, you explore more of the city. You take photos. Try local food. Meet interesting people. And eventually, the sun begins setting. The streets become quieter. The lights begin glowing. You start heading back toward your hotel, feeling tired but happy. Then your phone rings. The name on the screen immediately makes you smile. It's someone important. Someone close to you. And the conversation you're about to have is very different from asking for directions or booking a hotel. Because this conversation isn't about information. It's about support, connection, encouragement, and some of the most meaningful English we use in everyday life. The city feels completely different at night. The crowds have become smaller. The traffic has slowed down. The bright energy of the afternoon has transformed into something calmer, more peaceful, more reflective. You walk slowly along the sidewalk, enjoying the cool evening air. The day has been full of new experiences, new places, new conversations, new English. Your feet are a little tired from walking, but it's the satisfying kind of tired. The kind that comes from doing something meaningful. You pass a small cafe. Soft music drifts through the open door. People sit outside, talking quietly. A couple laughs together near a window. For a moment, everything feels calm. Then your phone begins to ring. You look at the screen and immediately smile. It's someone important. Someone who knows you well. Maybe it's a close friend. Maybe it's a brother or sister. Maybe it's a parent. The kind of person who doesn't need a reason to call. The kind of person who simply wants to know how you're doing. You answer. Hey. Their voice sounds warm. Hey. How's your trip going? And just like that, we enter another important part of everyday English. Not workplace English. Not travel English. But relationship English. The English people use when they're talking to people they care about. The English of support, understanding, connection, and encouragement. These conversations are some of the most important conversations we ever have. And interestingly, they often use very simple language. Your friend asks again. So, how are you doing? You think for a moment. It's been a busy day. An exciting day. A long day. A very natural response might be, I'm doing okay. Listen carefully. I'm doing okay. Repeat after me. Slowly. I'm doing okay. Again. I'm doing okay. Now say it naturally. I'm doing okay. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers use it every day. Because life isn't always amazing. And life isn't always terrible. Most days are somewhere in the middle. Friend. How are you doing? You. I'm doing okay. Simple. Honest. Natural. Let's practice again. I'm doing okay. Very good. Notice how comfortable this phrase feels. Not dramatic. Not exaggerated. Just real. And real communication is often more powerful than perfect communication. The conversation continues. Your friend asks about the city, the food, the people, the places you've visited. You tell a few stories. You laugh together. Then your friend says something interesting. You sound happier. You pause. Maybe they're right. Maybe getting away for a few days has helped. Maybe the trip has given you some perspective. Maybe you've simply needed a break. Your friend understands. And they respond with a phrase native speakers use constantly. I get it. Listen carefully. I get it. Repeat after me slowly. I get it. Again. I get it. Now say it naturally. I get it. Excellent. This phrase means, I understand. I know what you mean. I can relate to that. Friend. Work has been stressful lately. You. I get it. Friend. I've been feeling overwhelmed. You. I get it. Notice how powerful these three words are. They create connection. People want to feel understood. And I get it is one of the easiest ways to show understanding. Let's practice. I get it. Again. I get it. Excellent. Now imagine the conversation becomes a little more personal. Your friend tells you something they've been struggling with. Maybe they've been worried about a big decision. Maybe they're thinking about changing jobs. Maybe they're preparing for an important interview. Maybe they're trying something completely new. You listen carefully. You don't interrupt. You simply let them talk. And that's an important communication skill in every language. Sometimes people don't need solutions. Sometimes they simply need someone to listen. After your friend finishes explaining the situation, you respond with another useful phrase. Take your time. Listen carefully. Take your time. Repeat after me slowly. Take your time. Again. Take your time. Now say it warmly. Take your time. Excellent. This phrase communicates patience. It tells someone, there's no rush. You don't have to figure everything out today. Friend. I'm not sure what to do. You. Take your time. Friend. I need to think about it. You. Take your time. Simple. Supportive. Natural. Native speakers use this phrase all the time because life often requires patience. Let's practice again. Take your time. Excellent. The conversation continues. Your friend starts talking about an upcoming challenge. something important, something that makes them nervous. Maybe it's a presentation. Maybe it's a job interview. Maybe it's a difficult conversation they've been avoiding. You can hear uncertainty in their voice. You can hear doubt. And that's exactly when another useful phrase becomes important. You can do it. Listen carefully. You can do it. Repeat after me slowly. You can do it. Again. You can do it. Now, say it with encouragement. You can do it. Excellent. This phrase is simple. But it's powerful. Parents say it. Teachers say it. Friends say it. Coaches say it. Friend. I'm nervous. You. You can do it. Friend. I don't know if I'm ready. You. You can do it. Notice something interesting. Encouragement doesn't need complicated vocabulary. Sometimes 3 simple words are enough. Let's practice again. You can do it. Very good. The city lights reflect in nearby windows as you continue walking. The conversation feels comfortable, natural, meaningful. Then, something unexpected happens. Your friend shares some good news. Really good news. Maybe they got the job. Maybe they passed an important exam. Maybe they finally achieved a goal they've been working toward for years. You stop walking for a moment. A smile spreads across your face. And your reaction comes naturally. I'm proud of you. Listen carefully. I'm proud of you. Repeat after me slowly. I'm proud of you. Again. I'm proud of you. Now say it sincerely. I'm proud of you. Excellent. This phrase carries emotional weight. It tells someone, I admire what you've accomplished. I recognize your effort. I'm happy for your success. Friend. I finally got accepted. You. I'm proud of you. Friend. I worked really hard. You. I'm proud of you. Can you feel the warmth in those words? This is the kind of English that creates stronger relationships. Not because the vocabulary is difficult, but because the meaning is genuine. The conversation grows quieter for a moment. Your friend thanks you, then says something thoughtful. Honestly, you've always been supportive. Those words catch you by surprise. You weren't expecting them, and they introduce another useful phrase. That means a lot. Listen carefully. That means a lot. Repeat after me slowly. That means a lot. Again. That means a lot. Now say it naturally. That means a lot. Excellent. This phrase means, your words are important to me. I appreciate what you said. Friend. You've helped me more than you know. You. That means a lot. Friend. I'm grateful for your support. You. That means a lot. Simple. Sincere. Very natural. Let's practice one more time. That means a lot. Excellent. Now, let's learn another phrase that fits perfectly into conversations like this. I appreciate it. Listen carefully. I appreciate it. Repeat after me slowly. I appreciate it. Again. I appreciate it. Now say it naturally. I appreciate it. Excellent. This phrase is often warmer than a simple thank you. It communicates genuine gratitude. Friend, thanks for listening. You. I appreciate it. Friend, thanks for being there. You. I appreciate it. Very useful. Very common. Let's put everything together into a realistic conversation. Listen carefully. Friend. How are you doing? You. I'm doing okay. Friend. Traveling alone can be stressful sometimes. You. Yeah. Friend. I get it. You. Thanks. Friend. I'm nervous about an interview next week. You. You can do it. Friend. I hope so. You. Take your time and trust yourself. Friend. I'll try. You. I'm proud of you. Friend. That means a lot. You. I appreciate it. Can you hear how natural that sounds? The language isn't complicated, but the connection is strong. And that's an important lesson. Advanced communication isn't always about advanced words. It's often about expressing simple ideas sincerely. Now I'd like you to think about someone important in your own life. Someone who has helped you, encouraged you, supported you. Imagine speaking to them right now. What would you say? Maybe. I appreciate it. Maybe. I'm proud of you. Maybe. That means a lot. Choose one. Say it quietly. Good. Every phrase you practice becomes easier to use later. And emotional phrases often stay in our memory longer because they're connected to real feelings. The conversation slowly begins coming to an end. Your friend wishes you a good night. You wish them luck. Neither of you seems eager to hang up. But eventually, the call ends. You put your phone back into your pocket. And for a few moments, you simply walk. Thinking. Reflecting. Smiling. The conversation reminded you of something important. Language isn't only about exchanging information. It's about connecting with people, understanding people, supporting people, and building relationships. As you finally arrive back at your hotel, another thought crosses your mind. You've spent the entire day using English in different situations. Work, travel, friendship, daily life. And without realizing it, you're beginning to respond faster. Think less. Translate less. Communicate more. Something is changing. And in the next part of our journey, you'll begin noticing exactly how that change happens. You unlock the door to your hotel room and step inside. The room is quiet. For the first time all day, there are no conversations happening around you. No airport announcements. No coworkers. No restaurant noise. No traffic. Just silence. You place your bag near the door and sit down in the chair by the window. Outside, the city glows beneath the night sky. The streets are still alive. But from up here, everything feels calmer. You take a deep breath. And something interesting begins to happen. You start replaying the day in your mind. The coffee shop. The messages from your old friend. The conversations at work. Lunch with coworkers. Weekend plans. Travel experiences. The phone call with someone you care about. Without realizing it, you've spent the entire day surrounded by English. Not classroom English. Not textbook English. Real English. The kind people actually use. And now, for the first time, you're beginning to notice something. You're understanding more naturally. Less translating. More understanding. Less analyzing. More communicating. This is one of the most important moments in language learning. And it often happens quietly. Many learners imagine fluency as a dramatic breakthrough. A magical moment when suddenly everything becomes easy. But that's not usually how it works. More often, fluency arrives gradually. One small realization at a time. You begin recognizing phrases faster. You begin predicting responses. You begin understanding meaning without translating every word. And that's exactly what we're going to explore now. Imagine you're lying on the bed, thinking about the day. You remember walking into the coffee shop that morning. The barista smiled and asked, "How's it going?" This morning. You understood it immediately. You didn't stop to think. You didn't translate. You simply understood. And that's progress. A few hours later, your old friend sent a message. Long time no see. Again. You understood it immediately. You didn't analyze the grammar. You understood the meaning. And meaning is what communication is all about. The more phrases you recognize as complete units, the easier English becomes. This is why native speakers don't think about individual words during conversations. They recognize patterns, chunks, complete ideas. And that's something you can learn too. Let's practice a few phrases you've already learned today. Listen carefully. How's it going? Long time no see. I'm on my way. That sounds fun. You can do it. Did you notice something? You probably understood all of them instantly. Not because they're difficult, but because you've heard them enough times. Repetition creates familiarity. And familiarity creates confidence. Let's continue. Imagine tomorrow morning. You wake up. Your alarm rings. You sit up slowly. And a phrase immediately appears in your mind. I'm still waking up. You don't translate it. You simply know it. That's important. Because language starts becoming natural when phrases move from memory into instinct. Let's practice. Repeat after me slowly. I'm still waking up. Again. I'm still waking up. Excellent. Now imagine yourself saying it naturally during a real conversation. That's the goal. Not memorization. Usage. Real-life usage. The next thing you remember is your coworker asking about a project. Without thinking too much, you responded, I'm on it. Listen carefully. I'm on it. Repeat after me. I'm on it. Again. I'm on it. Excellent. Notice how short that phrase is. Many learners believe fluency requires long sentences. But native speakers often communicate with surprisingly short phrases. Because communication isn't a vocabulary competition. Communication is about clarity. And clarity is often simple. Now imagine another situation. A friend asks, what are your plans this weekend? Immediately, one of several phrases appears in your mind. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. It depends. Can you hear how natural those responses sound? That's because they reflect real life. Most people don't have perfect answers. Most people are figuring things out as they go. And language reflects that uncertainty. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. It depends. Very good. Notice how quickly you can understand them now. A few hours ago, they were new phrases. Now they're becoming familiar. That's progress. And progress matters. Many learners focus so much on what they don't know that they forget to notice what they do know. Every phrase you've learned today is another tool, another building block, another step forward. Now let's imagine a different situation. You're talking with someone important, someone you care about. They're nervous about something. You listen. Then, you respond. You can do it. Repeat after me. You can do it. Again. You can do it. Excellent. Notice how easy that feels. Simple language. Strong meaning. That's a powerful combination. Now let's explore something interesting. Many learners believe that advanced English means difficult English. But that's not always true. Sometimes, advanced communication is simply knowing the right phrase at the right moment. Imagine these situations. A friend shares good news. You say, "I'm proud of you." Someone helps you. You say, "I appreciate it." Someone says something kind. You respond, "That means a lot." None of those phrases are complicated. Yet all of them create strong emotional connections. And communication is ultimately about connection. Not perfection. Connection. Let's practice those phrases together. Repeat after me. I'm proud of you. I appreciate it. That means a lot. Excellent. Can you feel how natural they sound? That's because they're real. People use them every day. And that's exactly why learning them is valuable. Now let's think about another important idea. When children learn language, they don't memorize grammar rules first. They hear patterns. Thousands of patterns. Over and over. Eventually, those patterns become automatic. English learners can benefit from the same process. The more useful phrases you hear, the more natural English begins to feel. That's why today's lesson focused on situations rather than isolated vocabulary. Because situations create memory. And memory creates fluency. Think about everything you've experienced today. The morning coffee. The old friend. The busy office. The restaurant. The weekend plans. The trip. The phone call. Each situation gave you language attached to a specific experience. And that makes it easier to remember. Now let's do something different. Imagine tomorrow. A brand new day. Imagine yourself moving through several situations. I'll describe them. You imagine your response. Ready. You wake up tired. What do you say? Maybe. I'm still waking up. Good. You're running late. Someone asks where you are. What do you say? Maybe. I'm on my way. Excellent. A friend invites you somewhere. You're interested. What do you say? Maybe. That sounds fun. Very good. Someone asks if you're definitely coming. You're not sure yet. What do you say? Maybe. It depends. Excellent. A friend tells you they're nervous about an interview. What do you say? Maybe. You can do it. Perfect. Do you see what's happening? You're no longer studying English. You're using English. That's an important distinction. Language exists to be used. And every time you imagine a situation and create a response, you're strengthening that ability. The city outside your window grows quieter. The evening is slowly becoming night. You glance at the clock. It's later than you realized. The day is finally coming to an end. But before you go to sleep, you reflect on one final thought. Today wasn't really about vocabulary. It wasn't really about grammar. It wasn't even about pronunciation. Today was about something much bigger. Learning how English fits into real life. Learning how conversations connect together. Learning how one situation naturally leads into another. And most importantly, learning that fluency isn't built from perfect sentences. It's built from useful ones. The kind you've been practicing all day. As you turn off the light and settle into bed, you notice something encouraging. English feels a little less intimidating than it did before. A little more familiar. A little more comfortable. And that's exactly how fluency begins. Not with a giant breakthrough, but with hundreds of small moments of understanding. Moments that slowly build confidence. Moments that slowly build habit. Moments that slowly build the ability to think, respond, and communicate naturally. And tomorrow, that journey continues. The next morning arrives quietly. For a few moments, you remain in bed, listening to the sounds of the city, slowly waking up outside your window. Somewhere in the distance, a car passes by. A door closes. Someone laughs. The world is beginning another day. You sit up and stretch. And almost immediately, something interesting happens. Without thinking, a phrase appears in your mind. I'm still waking up. You smile? Not because the phrase is difficult, but because you didn't have to search for it. You didn't translate it. You didn't build it word by word. It simply appeared. Naturally. And that small moment is more important than it seems. Because this is how language becomes automatic. Not through memorizing endless vocabulary lists. Not through studying grammar for hours. But through repeated exposure to useful patterns. Patterns that eventually become part of the way you think. Today, we're going to focus on something many learners dream about. Thinking in English. Not translating. Not converting ideas from one language to another. Simply understanding and responding naturally. This is often called a breakthrough. But the truth is that most breakthroughs happen gradually. You don't suddenly wake up fluent one morning. Instead, you begin noticing small changes. Small moments. Moments like understanding a phrase immediately. Moments like responding faster. Moments like recognizing patterns without effort. And those moments slowly add up. Imagine yourself walking into a coffee shop. The barista smiles. How's it going? Now, pause. Notice what happens inside your mind. A year ago, maybe you would have translated the question. Today, perhaps you simply understand it. That's progress. Real progress. The kind of progress that matters. Let's practice. Barista. How's it going? You. Pretty good. Again. Barista. How's it going? You. Pretty good. Excellent. Simple. Natural. Automatic. Notice how easy that feels. Now, imagine another situation. Your phone vibrates. A message appears. Long time no see. Again. You understand it instantly. No translation. No effort. Just meaning. And meaning is what communication is all about. Language is not a collection of individual words. Language is a collection of ideas. The more ideas you recognize automatically, the easier English becomes. Let's practice. Long time no see. How have you been? I've been pretty busy lately. Excellent. Those phrases probably feel familiar now. And familiarity is exactly what we're aiming for. The human brain loves familiarity. The more familiar something becomes, the less energy it requires. That's why experienced drivers don't think about every movement. That's why musicians don't think about every note. And that's why fluent speakers don't think about every word. They recognize patterns. And so are you. Imagine another scene. You're back at work. A coworker asks. Can you update the report? Immediately. A response appears. I'm on it. Not because you're translating. Because you've heard it enough times. Let's practice. I'm on it. Again. I'm on it. Excellent. Now imagine another coworker asks. Do we have the final numbers? Without hesitation, you respond. Let me check. Again. No translation. Just communication. Let's practice. Let me check. Again. Let me check. Excellent. Notice how quickly these responses arrive now. That speed is important. Not because speaking fast is important, but because understanding quickly creates confidence. And confidence makes communication easier. Many learners believe confidence comes after fluency. Often the opposite is true. Confidence helps create fluency. Every successful interaction builds trust in your abilities. Every phrase you understand strengthens that trust. Now, let's imagine a different situation. You're having lunch with friends. Someone suggests a restaurant. Immediately, you think, that sounds good. Someone suggests a hiking trip. That sounds fun. Someone tells an unbelievable story. No way. Seriously. Can you hear what is happening? You're no longer creating language from scratch. You're selecting familiar patterns. And that's exactly how native speakers communicate. Let's practice several reactions together. That sounds good. That sounds fun. No way. Seriously. Excellent. These are small phrases. But they appear everywhere. And because they appear everywhere, they become powerful tools. Imagine walking through your day equipped with dozens of these tools. Every conversation becomes easier. Every interaction becomes smoother. Every response arrives a little faster. That's not magic. That's pattern recognition. And pattern recognition is one of the foundations of fluency. Now let's move into another situation. Someone asks about your weekend plans. What do you say? Maybe. I'm not sure yet. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. It depends. Notice something. You probably understood those responses immediately. Let's practice. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. It depends. Excellent. These phrases feel natural because they reflect real life. Most people aren't certain about everything. Most people make decisions gradually. And language reflects that reality. Now, let's explore something even more interesting. Imagine someone shares a problem with you. Maybe they're nervous about an interview. Maybe they're worried about a presentation. Maybe they're facing a difficult decision. What do you say? Perhaps. You can do it. Or, take your time. Or, I get it. Notice how quickly those phrases come to mind. That's because they aren't just words anymore. They're emotional responses. And emotional language is often easier to remember. Because feelings strengthen memory. Let's practice. You can do it. Take your time. I get it. Excellent. Those phrases help people feel understood. And helping people feel understood is one of the most important parts of communication. Now, I'd like you to imagine something. Imagine you're speaking English with someone for 10 minutes. Not a teacher. Not an examiner. Just another person. A normal conversation. What would happen? Would you understand every word? Probably not. Would you make mistakes? Almost certainly. Would the conversation still work? Very likely. That's an important realization. Communication doesn't require perfection. Communication requires connection. And connection is possible long before fluency arrives. Many learners underestimate how much English they already know. They focus on missing vocabulary, missing grammar, missing pronunciation, instead of recognizing what they've gained. Today alone, you've practiced dozens of useful phrases. You've practiced greetings, response, questions, reactions, travel English, work English, social English, emotional English. That's real progress. Now let's do a quick challenge. I'll describe a situation. You imagine your response. Ready? You're late for a meeting. Someone texts. Where are you? What do you say? Maybe. I'm on my way. Good. Your friend suggests a road trip. What do you say? Maybe. That sounds fun. Excellent. Someone tells you amazing news. What do you say? Maybe? No way. Or, I can't believe it. Very good. A friend is nervous about an exam. What do you say? Maybe. You can do it. Excellent. Notice how quickly those responses appeared. That's not memorization. That's familiarity. And familiarity is becoming automatic. The city outside your hotel window is beginning another busy day. People are heading to work, opening stores, starting conversations, living their lives. And all around them, language is being used naturally. Not perfectly. Naturally. That's the goal. Not perfect English. Natural English. English that helps you connect with people. English that helps you navigate real situations. English that helps you express ideas, feelings, opinions, and experiences. The kind of English you've been practicing throughout this journey. As you finish your morning coffee and prepare for another day, you realize something encouraging. English feels different now. Not easier, because you've learned every word. Easier, because you're beginning to trust yourself. You're beginning to recognize patterns. You're beginning to respond naturally. You're beginning to think less about English and use it more. And that's one of the clearest signs that real progress is happening. The journey isn't over. In fact, it's only beginning. But something important has changed. You're no longer standing outside the language looking in. Little by little, conversation by conversation, you're stepping inside it. And in the final part of our journey, everything you've learned will come together into one simple but powerful realization. Fluency is not about knowing everything. It's about confidently using what you already know. As the morning continues, you sit quietly with your coffee and think about everything you've experienced. Not just today, not just during this lesson, but throughout your entire journey with English. Maybe you've been learning for a few months. Maybe for a few years. Maybe even longer. And if you're like most learners, there have probably been moments when you felt frustrated. Moments when progress felt slow. Moments when it seemed like everyone else was improving faster. Moments when you wondered if you would ever sound natural. Those feelings are completely normal. Every language learner experiences them. Even people who eventually become fluent. But today, I want you to think about something different. Instead of focusing on how far you still have to go, think about how far you've already come. Think about all the phrases you've learned, all the conversations you've understood, all the situations you've successfully navigated. Because progress is often much easier to see when you look backward. Imagine yourself 1 year ago. Maybe you knew fewer words. Maybe you felt less confident. Maybe hearing a simple conversation felt overwhelming. Now compare that version of yourself to who you are today. You're listening to English, understanding English, practicing English, using English. That's progress. Progress. And it matters. Many learners underestimate the power of consistency. They look for dramatic transformations, huge breakthroughs, instant fluency. But language learning usually works differently. It's built through small daily improvements. A phrase today, a conversation tomorrow, a new pattern next week, a new level of confidence next month. And eventually, those small improvements become something significant. Think about everything we've practiced together. You woke up in the morning and said, "I'm still waking up." You stopped for coffee and said, "I could use some coffee." You rushed to a meeting and said, "I'm on my way." You reconnected with an old friend and said, "Long time no see. How have you been?" You navigated workplace conversations. "I'm on it. Let me check." Good point. That makes sense. You shared lunch with coworkers. That sounds good. I'll have the same. Seriously. Good choice. You made weekend plans. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I'm in. It depends. You traveled? Excuse me. Could you help me? How long does it take? I think I'm lost. Perfect. You supported someone you care about. I get it. Take your time. You can do it. I'm proud of you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. Take a moment and notice something. Those phrases aren't random. Together, they create an entire day of communication. An entire day of real life. And that's one of the biggest lessons of this journey. Fluency is not about knowing thousands of complicated words. Fluency is about knowing what to say in familiar situations. That's exactly what native speakers do. Most native speakers don't spend their days using advanced vocabulary. Most of their conversations are built from simple phrases, repeated again and again. The same patterns. The same reactions. The same responses. The difference is that those patterns feel automatic to them. And that's exactly what you're building. Automaticity. The ability to understand and respond without stopping to translate. Imagine you're talking to someone tomorrow. Maybe a friend. Maybe a coworker. Maybe someone you've just met. The conversation begins. And instead of searching desperately for words, you recognize the situation. You know what to say. Not because you memorized a script, but because you've practiced useful patterns. That's where confidence comes from. Not perfection. Preparation. Familiarity. Practice. Let's take a moment and revisit a few of our favorite phrases together. Repeat after me slowly. I'm still waking up. I could use some coffee. Long time no see. I'm on it. That sounds fun. I'm not sure yet. Excuse me. Could you help me? You can do it. I'm proud of you. Excellent. Now say them again. This time, imagine real situations. Imagine a real person standing in front of you. Imagine a real conversation. Imagine yourself responding naturally. Good. That's exactly how language becomes part of your life. Not through memorization alone. Through imagination. Practice. And repetition. Now let's talk about something many learners worry about. Mistakes. Perhaps you've made mistakes while speaking English. Of course you have. Everyone does. Native speakers make mistakes. Language learners make mistakes. Even teachers make mistakes. Mistakes are not evidence of failure. They're evidence of participation. You cannot become a confident speaker without making mistakes. It's impossible. Every conversation teaches you something. Every misunderstanding teaches you something. Every awkward moment teaches you something. The goal is not to eliminate mistakes. The goal is to keep communicating despite them. Imagine two learners. The first learner waits until every sentence is perfect. The second learner speaks, makes mistakes, learns, and continues. Which learner improves faster? Almost always the second one. Because communication creates growth. Perfection creates hesitation. And hesitation slows progress. That's why I want you to remember something important. You do not need perfect English. You need usable English. English that helps you connect. English that helps you express yourself. English that helps you understand other people. That is enough. In fact, that is more than enough. Now imagine the future. 6 months from now. A year from now. Perhaps you'll be listening to a podcast in English without subtitles. Perhaps you'll be having conversations more comfortably. Perhaps you'll be traveling and communicating with confidence. Perhaps you'll be making friends from different countries. All of those possibilities begin with the same thing. Consistent practice. Not perfect practice. Consistent practice. A little every day. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. 20 minutes. Whatever you can manage. The secret is not intensity. The secret is consistency. Think about how children learn language. They hear thousands of conversations, thousands of repetitions, thousands of familiar patterns. And little by little, language becomes natural. You're doing the same thing. Every lesson, every phrase, every conversation. You are building familiarity. And familiarity eventually becomes fluency. Let's do one final challenge together. Imagine a complete day. You wake up tired. What do you say? I'm still waking up. You need coffee. What do you say? I could use some coffee. You meet an old friend. What do you say? Long time no see. Your manager asks for help. What do you say? I'm on it. Someone invites you to an event. What do you say? That sounds fun. You're uncertain about your plans. What do you say? We'll see. You need help while traveling. What do you say? Could you help me? A friend is nervous. What do you say? You can do it. Someone shares good news. What do you say? I'm proud of you. Can you see what's happening? You already know how to communicate in dozens of real-life situations. Maybe not perfectly, but effectively. And effective communication is the foundation of fluency. As our journey comes to an end, I want you to remember one final idea. Language is not a test. It's not a competition. It's not a performance. Language is a bridge. A bridge between people. A bridge between ideas. A bridge between experiences. Every phrase you learn helps strengthen that bridge. Every conversation makes it stronger. Every attempt matters. Even the imperfect ones. Especially the imperfect ones. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this lesson helped you feel more comfortable with English, more confident, more capable, and more excited about your progress. Before you leave, I'd like you to do one small thing. Think about your favorite phrase from today's lesson. Choose just one. The phrase that felt the most useful, the most natural, the most memorable. Now say it quietly. Good. That's your phrase. Your next step. Your reminder that progress is happening. And remember, you don't need to know everything. You only need to keep going. One conversation. One phrase. One day at a time. Thank you for listening to Relaxing English Listening. Take care of yourself. Keep practicing. Keep learning. Keep believing in your progress. And, most importantly, keep using English in real life. Because that's where confidence grows. That's where connection happens. And that's where fluency truly begins. Until next time, goodbye.